So Oba Kunga, and it's a textual interview for the British Blacklist. Thanks so much just for being in the space at the same time. And how? First, that's the first question. How was that achieved? I know there's going to be a story.
Professionalism, professionalism. We've all been in it a long time.
Sure.
And I think, like anything, if you commit yourself to something, right, we're now at that age that we commit.
Right.
So it wasn't something that we're going to jump in and say, you know what, I'm going to put my foot in and work on that. We had committed. So on any way that we could make it work, we made it work.
And you all living in London now? Huh? I mean, you all living in London, based in London?
Yep. All of us apart from him, he lives everywhere.
No, it's funny. When I said it, I ended over here.
Yeah. He lives everywhere. I'm all over.
Yeah, no, I kind of get that commitment as well. Is it really because of the love of the project that
totally?
really
I mean,
kind of
we're
gets you in?
like family. We go back.
Sure.
So far. It's an interesting thing for me, especially when I do a lot of international. So it's bringing this whole situation into an international level, platform, which it needs to be.
Right.
You know, I've had an international career all my life, so that's all I know. But I do know here.
Right.
And I think that it's coming to come. It's time to time. This is a classic project, which the world needs to know about. It's not just the UK.
Yeah.
We start here.
Yeah.
We move on to a bigger platform. I think sometimes people think, all right, London's the centre of the world. It's not. Our experience, our North London, East London, South London experience, we've all grown up. It can be taken onto an influence by what we've all done. Especially the Americans, and people don't realise this. So, with the British Collective and the fantastic productions Donnie's been doing, Junior, it's taking it to a next standing, and that's the level.
Who made the phone call? That's the thing, because I know when we spoke. When we did the article, recently regarding Little Star. So it's literally that's the brain right here. In that
kind of started before that. We were at Carl McDonald's birthday party.
Right.
And we were all there and drinking, and I was like, man, we're all here. We ain't even sung together before. And like everybody's like, I grew up listening to all of them. Yeah. So I was like, man, it'd be good to get everybody on one.
What were you drinking? Just very quickly. All right. You know those moments. Yeah.
And then Junior, I've seen it a couple of times. We mentioned it. We did that concert we done, the Legends of Soul thing. And I think we spoke about actually doing something before they actually put that show on.
Yeah.
So it's just timing really. And I was doing Little Star album, and I thought I needed some heat for the album. You know what I mean? Get some attention. So I wrote this song Spiritual, and I thought, wow, let me call Junior and see if he comes. So when he came down and we listened to him, we kind of looked at each other and thought, we should call Carl. We should call Omar. And then everybody just started.
One of those kind of push mic moments where man's kind of getting to the front of the mic. The's one mic there and easing each other up. Because I've heard the tune of Lee's there and you can push in your face. Was it not that? Or no, it was crafted. You already knew.
And then Junior came and sang his part. That was one session.
Because they're laughing, I feel so someone's getting up.
Then the next week we came back with Carl.
Right, okay.
Carl sang down all his bits, and like Noel and Lee and Omar. Everybody did there. In fact, Omar's part actually, I sent him the file. He sang it where he was. I sent him
because there were some wonderful things on it, and it's just like the harmony parts. We're saying some harmony parts. It's it's like getting real nice harmonic layers, like you singing a bit on another track, and I add a little bit, and you say, "Lee, try this."
It's all intertwined.
What's amazing is, you're right.
It's not about getting up front to sing.
There ain't no lead singer.
It's not that. It's a situation of it's music.
But that's what I love about the whole concept as well. Is like you say, there's no lead singer in this regard. It is harmonic. It is a collective, and it's a harmonic collective.
That's the whole, and I think that I love harmonies, and that's one of the things that draws me in. We know because we're into this. All these different layers and stuff, it's what's hard is after you've recorded it and come back 6 months later and you think, what did we do there? Oh, is that me?
That's
just in the moment.
What's amazing as well is that because obviously you all come from a certain period, at some point surely you were battling even in the charts. I mean, was that not an issue so much? I know slightly different generations, but across like
when I say
not battling physically,
I don't mean battling, it's just being able to get leverage within the marketplace in terms of market share.
Sure, that's my point,
So we were used in that way. We, in terms of battling with bands, I think what the thing was in them days was that you needed to be the best because you see, when you got on there, you got some bad man coming on stage, right?
Sure.
So you needed to make sure that you were hot, that you were on, right? Which is the way that it should be.
Right? You know,
right?
Because it ain't a competition, but it is a studio.
Exactly.
You get what I'm trying to say? It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
People try to make out it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Because it elevates you. Of course, your craft is elevated.
You keep wanting to put your craft in that place, in that place,
Right.
in that place. So you're always challenging yourself.
Yeah.
So if he's doing the same thing, then we're competing.
Right. Yeah.
It's not like we're competing for the same marketplace, even though we will get the same marketplace. But we just want to put out the best that we can put out.
Odyssey on one stage, doing Back to My Roots. Links were doing Intuition. We were doing Body Talk.
That's
and
right.
Love
That's a classic story right there.
And it stays in my mind.
Sure.
And then in between that, the cuts were my memory of Being With You with Smokey Robinson and Michael Jackson's One Day in Your Life. And that will always stay in my mind. That was the top of the bottom. It's frozen in time.
Just as you paint that image, I mean, I'm sure ones and ones in this room are recognizing,
But even so, I was in awe of Odyssey because I'm thinking, oh my God. Back to My Roots. Even before that, Native New Yorker. And I was you know, and I'm thinking, wow. So I think we're fans of each other. I used to buy everyone's albums. I used to buy everyone's albums.
That's to try and put me and Omar against each other. Like
And the same thing.
And likewise,
exactly.
There was none of that beef going on.
But it's always that I always thought that if you corporately keep us apart by inflicting the fight that we don't know is going on, right? Then we never actually talk to one another. So we never get the chance to actually work with one another in the true sense.
And you feel that was a deliberate tactic in some respects, i.e. I'm going to go off and do my own thing and I can work with whoever I want to do on a collaboration, or just time just did not allow at the time.
It's just timing, isn't it?
Sure.
Timing, I think outlets were not the same then. It was a different outlet. Especially the 80s.
You were tied very much to the record.
I beg to differ because in the reggae industry, everybody collaborated, but in the soul, where these guys were getting signed, was deliberate. It's divide. Let's start the thing. Let's start the thing.
Yeah, it's the target. I mean, everybody's sort of on an independent now. They're kind of pushing. I mean, do your own thing.
That's the whole industry. There is no record company.
This is it, exactly.
It's just a machine that connects to a TV company. And then you put reality stars in the charts. You know, and that's what it's all about now. They have certain artists that they will commit to. And you can actually, it's like a betting thing. You can see how long they last. You can really, because there's not an industry per se anymore. You know, it's not the dream that you grew up to. It's not the same. But when we were around, you know, the thing about it is we always wanted to do live shows. That was about it. You know, you earned from playing live, and even before you recorded, you wanted to go out live. I mean, that was my ambition, to be live, and then recording came after, and then the rest came after that. So, you know, it was a struggle, but you enjoyed it. You know, now it's from the computer to Wembley. Literally. Computer, television,
But that's
Wembley.
what we were talking before, right? And we were talking about the fact of you from 13 and what you were doing then, what you were learning then in terms of being in the reggae field, the different man that you were picked up within that field, and then to come out of that field and say go into the James Taylor Quartet, which is a completely different scenario now, because the reggae thing is not getting the same view taken of it as the James Taylor Quartet. Do you get what I'm saying? And especially at the time when you guys came along and there was only you and Working Week. Again, exactly, and it was just the two of you until they decided that they wanted to bring my boy Jamiroquai and wipe the two of you out.
My perspective as well, because I've seen all of you live in the video, and so, like, McCoy family, Jamiroquai can touch him live on that kind of level.
What I'm saying is that at that time, no one was doing, and the James Taylor Quartet was doing, was more relevant at that time than Jamiroquai was. But Jamiroquai was looked upon as a white Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, he was a saviour.
Right.
Jay is somebody I know well before he was Jamiroquai. He used to come to all my shows, McCoy shows, JTQ shows, and he used to be right in front. And then one day we did a gig in France, and he was headlining, and I was with a band called That Fuss Was Us, which consists of Steve Williamson, Tony Remy, you know, the best musicians in this country, wide range, the Lewinson brothers, you know, they do all the big top sessions. So we had this amazing band called That Fuss Was Us. Anyway, we were on there, and he came into the dressing room, and he went on the floor and he started to do this,
right,
and do all this on the way. And then I looked at him, and it was the same guy. I remember, always in front. And this is what happens. Amy, the same thing. Amy's a good friend, way before she was known. Come to all the shows. These people wanted it that bad because they are musicians and they put their time into it. And it was always going to happen. And it was good for acid jazz because I was a part of that whole movement. We were the godfathers of acid jazz. You know, this JTQ band. Yeah. So it was a good thing. I think it's about evolving. But as you know, as you said it. They put him up there like.
I think people always forget that we're in England though. Right?
And that will always happen.
We're in England. This ain't a black country. So
obviously, his name's Sam Smith.
Yeah, so obviously it makes sense that you know
there's always a
one of the natives is at the top level. Doing, you know what I mean?
But do you feel I mean, looking again, sort of like there's two limitations I'm interested in covering as well. Is that the British collective? You know what I mean? I mean, do you find that concept limiting as well to put British within the collective, as opposed to British Soul Collective?
No. And I'll tell you why. No, and I'll tell you why. No, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. Most probably you'll be the only other one, the only person I will tell why. If you saw anything come up on anything and it said the British Collective, what does your mind tell you?
My mind?
Yeah.
Seriously? Imperialism? But
exactly. Right. Do we not come from an imperialism?
Absolutely.
Right. Do we not live in an imperialistic state? Right. So what are we?
I'd say, well, if you're asking me, I'm African.
No.
What would you call it? What would you call it, man? Would you call it the British Collective?
That's hard, but I would have to.
Take on board. Where I'm finishing. Is you have to take on board where I'm born. I was born in South London, Ware Hospital, right in Balham. That's where I was born.
Right.
Went back to Jamaica when I was 14. Fell in love with Jamaica and had an affiliation with Jamaica, but I know where I was born. So I personally lived between the two.
Yeah.
Right? So when I use the word British, it's a term that's come across in today's society to mean inclusive of all, born within the country. So to use the term and not use it from a positive perspective of being black, being in Britain, right, and being born in this country. Nobody should take offence to British being used, because the imperialistic and everything about history, we must go back and understand. During the periods of history, it was us that sold us. Let's not forget that too. So we can't be sanctimonious about everything, right? We have to be realistic and real about every award. It's not an award that I look for when I do what I do, right? I didn't want an award of a Grammy. I was just, wow, I couldn't even go to the Grammy. When they sent it to me and they showed me that I'd won it, I didn't have the money to get on a plane to go. That's reality.
That's crazy, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is reality for me. I'm not saying everybody else's reality is that way, right? But that's reality for me. White press will look at British Collective and think, well, where's the white guy? Black press is thinking just like you, imperialism, this, And Junior thinks, I was born here, you know. And I will use here in every which way possible.
As long as you know where you come from.
Where you come from.
And you know, British is a name, just like there are many other names. Black Britain, remember that band? Black Britain, right? So we've always been pushing this, and we've always been saying from it, but still we're not accepted. But still we keep doing what we do, and we say we are from it. We changed the whole culture over the past 100 years. We changed the 2 world wars. We changed the whole culture of music. So we should embrace it and be smart that we do. We're smart about it, knowing where we come from.
The reason why I ask, I mean, thank you for that, is that it doesn't have the word soul in there. I mean, and to ask, what would I call the band? Just off the top of my head, maybe the original Soul Collective. But I know it sounds a bit twee, but
But
you know, no, this is the point I'm making. If I Google yourselves, and for me it would be soul. You know what I mean? And not just soul. What I consider to be the beginnings and fundamentally the foundation of what I consider to be the British soul, because I grew up within that. And so I remember all of
I was listening to all the conversation. I'm thinking to myself, hold on. We were then called in the early 80s part of the Brit Funk thing. That was what we were. And that's
again, who gave you that term?
Yes.
Who gave you that term? Did you give it to you? Right? I never told anybody I made Brit Funk.
No.
Right? If somebody told me I made Brit Funk. Right? How dare you?
That's what I'm saying.
No, check where I'm coming from. Check where I'm coming from. I never told nobody I made Brit Funk, you know? Right? I told them I make junior music. Right? Whatever that is, that's what I make. You turn around and put out that it's called Brit Funk.
Because you're from Britain.
And it's fun.
And you like funk.
When you put British Collective out there, and you visualize your audience, I mean, who do you see that?
I see our demographic goes from like, what's this guy named Cameron? Him.
Right.
His generation.
Right.
Even before him, obviously, because we're older than him.
Right.
But why I say him? Because he's somebody I used to see at the Subterranean on
Okay.
Friday night.
Right.
When they used to have rotation. Femi, these guys used to play down there. And it was Femi who introduced me to him and his mates. Because he's from the Manor, he'd come down there. You know, it was 90s, so it was R&B from America, all the acid jazz stuff. So it's a combination of UK soul was Omar, Donny, that stuff was being played in there. So these guys know the music, and they know their parents were playing, you know, all of the great stuff what we've inherited. So I say and why I say him, because those are the people who some people might think they're far remote from this music, but they're not.
No.
They actually are listening. So I say, and they're the ones who have the money. They will come out and it's no problem to buy the album. So I say, from them right down to where are we in Bermondsey? You know, this is a very big area for soul. Bermondsey, the East End, they love their soul. So you're gonna, you know, just the demographics there in one. And I mean, the obvious ones is the soul, the people who listen to radio, who know their music. Obviously, they're gonna tune in. They know about the individual, so they're gonna be interested. So it really does cover from up there, Parliament, down to Bermondsey, where we are.
Yeah, you agree. Yeah. You can see yourself to be like Renaissance men in that regard, like soul Renaissance. I mean, soul's never gone away.
I think
but the face seems to have changed.
Somebody told us the other day that they looked at us as looking after, kind of like bastions of soul. We're looking after. We're ensuring that it's still there. Right. We're continuing the legacy. We're still bearing it. We're still
It's like they almost don't recognise that genre anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's been touched upon many times. Omar's, you know, sort of like revolution uprising at the 2007 Mobos. At that time, it's gone re-viral. It's like, where's ever possible? I mean, but I mean, yeah. So we can have that discussion. I mean, who do you put? I mean, the blame is a loaded term, but fault, small f, but where do you see the fault at that? I mean, is it arguably the legacy that Humans was not strong enough, or was it the music industry, their power was too powerful, or was it arguably the buying public were just not investing their time in your music, you know?
That's a lot.
Yeah, I really do. I think
I mean, for me, I found that it was a whole corporate situation.
Right.
And it still is there.
Yeah,
corporate. You can't mess about. You're fighting a corporation all the time.
Really?
And then it moves on. One man will go, next one. I mean, it got to a point where you had DJs were A&R guys up there.
Yeah.
And you thought he's spinning and he's DJ and he's A&Ring, but does he know the music?
Sure.
I mean, I interviewed Norman J myself or something, and he was saying to me he didn't know what A&R was.
Again,
yeah.
LBA as well.
You know, that was what it was. And Trevor Nelson said the same thing to me. So that's showing you, and you've got people's careers and lives in your hands. Corporate. So it's all corporate. And then, you know, as soon as they break up with one hit, then they think, oh yeah, everybody says, no, we're not going to do that, but everybody does. They all follow the whole line. You've got to look like that, you've got to wear like that, you've got to be like that. That's going to work here. It's all corporate, and everyone follows. Media follows. And nowadays people are more lazy. Why? Because we've got our mobiles, we just want to do that. There's some people that don't, because, and this is a topic I talked about earlier, was that I've been meeting a lot of people from our age group who are not necessarily internet prone or mobile, but they're not techie, but they love the music. And my situation I've been having meetings about is how do we reach these audiences, because they're not going to go online just for your thing, because how do they get there? There's a whole wide demographic of people who are into this, and we need to reach them too. Because and this is a situation when I'm in a discussion with people about how we can get to that, because they want the music, they're starved of it, they're starved of that whole situation. They're not interested in the corporate or what happened, you know. They just like what they like. And to be honest with you, that's what the British Collective, we are a corporation. It is a corporation. The collective is about. You like it, you feel it. I think when you start digging the grave and start, then it becomes something like a corporate situation where like, how did you get this? I'm doing it because I love it, I'm feeling it, that's it. That's the truth for me. You know, I don't want to get into a situation where all of a sudden it becomes something so elite that you know, too elite, is that the word elitist? I want to feel it, I want to, you know, do you like this track? Do you like, are you into it? And that's it. I come from the generation where we went to Crackers and we had fun and we funked and we danced and stuff, and that what gravitates, and that's how we connect. We MIDI each other because we come from that thing. We mix the reggae with the soul, and let's keep it about the music. Let's keep it about getting it to the people. Once it starts getting into another level where all of a sudden we're talking about certain rights, if you're talking about one particular song, then cool. But I think that keep it about the music. Let's keep it to the level where people, because people are fed up. They want to enjoy. I feel they want to enjoy. Everybody's.
So the timing of us having our first performance to the world, going out there, it's with Tony Blackman.
That's it.
He's the guy who, apart from like Robbie and a few other, Robbie Vincent, he's the guy who England really, you know, because he was already successful in this sense, we know his history, and he said upon himself, I'm going to play this music. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to big up this music. That's what he did. And look, what perfect setting.
20-30 years
on. So, you know, everything, you know, this is that station, you got your Robert Elms. These are the guys who, they were around us. They were there, they were there. And that's why they're, that's right.
But we've got community stations. I mean, when you say about reaching as well, London has the most community stations of anywhere pretty much in the world. And it's when, go on.
They need to support something that's going to go viral, because we need to talk about them and they're important. And we need a platform for them to be. The importance of these, if you want to call them pirate stations, are integral to our West Indian heritage continuing, right, to maintain itself going through. But they're looked upon as being little insurgents into an area that they're trying to wipe out.
Always have been. But when you say about reaching demographics, that has to be part of the program.
These community stations, what's noticed, they're for the community, obviously, of that area. People who tune into them will know about them. But back in the day with the pirates, you had your pirates in each part of London, and they would put on dances, and you, as an artist, UK artist, you would perform at these places. But what I found with these community stations, because it's so easy to get the license, I think it is, there's so many of them, but there's no cohesion.
That's true too.
So we, as a collective, if we was to, well, I'm sure it's going to happen, there's got to be some kind of a campaign where we are linked with the best of these. We've got a certain amount of people listening. It's very important because, but they're so sporadic that, you know, you'll miss maybe 50.
You see, I think, I agree with what you're saying, but see, from where I'm coming from, I think that it's important that they understand that they must. And I used to work our community. Yes. So it's not a thing about giving them and hoping, right? As I said to you, you know what my mindset's like. So I'm not hoping. You get on it. I'm not asking you, please, sir, do it. Because it's us.
One saying no,
you get what I'm saying? Because
it's never been done before.
You get what I'm saying? It's not in itself, but you get what I'm trying to say.
It's duty bound.
It's incredibly important. No, what I'm saying is, it's incredibly important for our children's history. Incredibly important.
Nice legacy. I mean, this is
you know,
this is the
thing. My youth, I have I'm old enough to have grandchildren, right? And my 3-year-old granddaughter, right, will put on something and she's singing away and this, that and the other, and she'll say to me, where does that come from, Granddad? Because now she knows that everything that's being played, I'm saying to her, that's from this, that's from this. So before I even say it, where does it come from, Granddad? Because from off I'm teaching her, there ain't nothing out there brand new.
Nothing new under the sun.
Ain't nothing new under the sun except the fact of having a creative mind to create something from what was there before that seems new.
Answer upon it.
That seems new into the generation that you're living within. When we started out, when I did Mummy used to say, rock guitar and stuff like that, that wasn't in. 10 years later, a lovely guy come along called Roachford and did a tune called Cuddly Toy, which I thought was the lick, the absolute lick. I went on to make some incredible music that I don't hear nobody talking about.
Seriously, no, there's lots of travesties. I mean, this is
you know what I'm saying? And this, to me, right, was that important. If you can get what I'm saying, after just saying it, it became that important to me when Don and I were in there and we're working on people's vocals and stuff. It's not a thing about, oh boy, you know, Junior, you have to sing more. Donny, you should sing more. None of that. We had Rick Clark on a tune and Rick says 7 words. But when you hear the tune without it, right, we're doing it on the show, and even without it, right, I miss Rick's voice.
Right.
Right. There's another track we're on, right, and Lee does, I'm doing lead and Lee does an ad-lib, and it's just ad-lib, but it wouldn't be the tune without the ad. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There's another tune where Lee's doing lead and Noel comes in at the end, which will be very controversial when it comes out and people look at it from the perspective of where it is from.
I was actually there.
The creative about what? No, not yet.
Have you heard it? When you look at that period, and I don't know if it's more important now as you look back at it and think, wow, what, you know, achieved so much, you know, like maybe from South London ends and Norton, you know, like how what you achieved going to the States, and you know, D'Angelo, all them man kind of saying, well, I love this music from these people.
The first time I went to LA, and I was doing this interview, and my manager turned around and said, Stevie Wonder wants to meet you. And I couldn't move, I just sat there. I didn't know what to do. I just sat there. Stevie Wonder wants to meet me, and he's next door. So I got up after a few seconds and I walked through the door and I thought, be composed. The man can't see me. check what's going on in my head. Right? A man can't see me, but in my head it's be composed, you know, Junior, just what it's done. Right? Speak English, don't go in or nothing. Right? And I'm walking up, right? And he's sitting at this desk in his room, and he's got these big old speakers, JBL speakers in there, right? And I come up and I put my hand to shake his hand, and the whole of my palm of my hand is sweating. And he just laughed and he said to me, man, I thought you was a group. God damn, that mama used to say, God damn. I couldn't believe that. And that was it. Right? To the point where from that, he's turning around and he's saying to me, listen to this. Like, you know, you would with another musician. You would sit down and you play something and you say, boy, I would have make a drop for this. You know, you have to hear this. And he's telling me, listen to this, like I'm gonna top you and be put on that girl. Right? That girl. And she's so, and you know, you just sit on there. And how we became the friends we were was when he did that. I just turned and I said to him, "You have no right to do that to me, man." And he just cracked up laughing, and I said we became friends. It was what I'm saying is I came from South London, Clapham South at the time, right? Moved up and I'm in Mitcham, right, at the time with my parents, right? My dad did my room for me, putting soundproofing in the room, and I had a four-track Fostex cassette, right? With the Juno 6, my friend, right? And you're looking with that and you yourself for this bounce from one to two, right? You know, so we were learning off of small equipment how to try and make this music sound like something that we would feel we would go out and listen to.
And an Akai 4-track
stereo,
and you had to, it was reel to reel. And I remember, and when we were first doing the First Imagination album, I would sit at the bottom of the quarter-inch machine, because we'd bounce from half-inch to quarter-inch, spinning the vocals. And I'd sit there and I'd take all the outtakes and bring them home and re-edit them to do my own mixes. You know, because we were listening to pirate stations, and I was thinking like, so I'd edit them. I got them at home somewhere, and they're like, you know, So Good So Right or Burning Up. I've got all these different things. But it was
the youth turned around and they heard that Mama used to say and said, "Fuggish, rubbish, bone." Right? It's my tune. Right? Warren G, Do You See What I See? It's my tune. Heavy D, right? Is It Good to You? My tune. Lighthouse Family, my tune. Right? So we've not been playing during the time that we've been here. We have been affecting big time, worldwide.
That's what I say, international.
And that's
I've heard your tunes.
I
was in Africa. I heard your tunes in Ethiopia. You know what I mean? It's like in the gym, I was like, imagination, what? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? In between, like, you know what I mean? Like Teddy Afro. So it's like, yeah, man. So they don't even know. I mean, it's amazing. But like, and so just lastly, very quickly, it's like, so young ones now coming up. I mean, you know, if you had to think of who's carrying like, apart from Donny, apart from Donny, like, who would you kind of say, okay, I'm gonna pass my mantle on? What, you know, I should ask Donny really. But like, who would you give a name check to? I mean, I know we've spoken before. I know you mentioned Miss Witter. You know what I mean? But like, who you feeling now from arguably a British soul collective? Doesn't have to be necessarily a black youth.
Can I say something like that? I'll say somebody who I've been working with lately. A lady called Annabelle Williams.
My friend's daughter, her name is CC, she was on X
Factor. Alright, look at this X Factor, what's going on?
They come from there, that seems to be the only route for singers.
If you're a singer now, that's the route you go
It's hard to
she wants to look at
Alright, I mean, this is the thing, I mean, it's a big question, but I'll make it small if you can answer it small. So where is the Soul School? Why, you know, I've seen Pauline Quirk's got her academy going up there for actors. Where is the British Soul School? I mean, this is
like masterclasses and workshops and little thing at Stratford Circus. Done stuff in Annerley, MTV Base, I did some bits.
Right.
I'm trying to get like.
Let's get that concrete. I can see that.
Degree courses in vocal, and it's something what I had to stop doing because I wanted to do me again. So in terms of that, my whole I have a future plan where I have my own academy, and it's so that's the future.
Beautiful. It's great. All right. Thanks so much for your time.
And that's nice when it's